Welcome to Vino with Vito. Let's not forget Nina.
Hi.
And today we have a special guest, Lisa. And I'm sorry, I can't even pronounce your last name. But I just had it. What was your last name again, Lisa?
Troyano Ascolese.
Troyano
such a cool name.
Ascolese. It is
That's a
pretty
really
cool.
cool name.
And even being Italian, it was difficult for me.
Yeah,
But
it's a lot of vowels.
Lisa is a broker and owner of Engels and Volker's Real Estate in Hoboken and Jersey City,
Yes.
correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I believe those are more high-end, homes and condos and townhouses and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, we
that
like
you
to-
sell out there, correct?
We like to think we're like the luxury price point. We're the luxury brand for every price point. So we have condos as low as $300K and properties as, we've done properties as high as $29 million. So we're pretty much all over the place.
29 million.
Yeah.
I'd like to do one of those. Today we have a nice bottle of wine. And by the way, I just want everybody to know this was my first Robert Graham shirt I ever bought.
Oh, really?
Wow.
You
How
still
was
fit
that,
it?
huh? Look at that.
that.
Right? Unbelievable.
Oh.
A Robert Graham holder.
And you're never allowed to say that to me, by the way,
What's that?
about fitting into clothes.
I won't
Don't
say-
ever.
I will not say that.
It's bad you gave me a large T-shirt
Oh,
last time you came.
You know what it is? I couldn't see without my glasses. That's why we're talking. Today we have a nice bottle of Barbera and Alba. Actually, this was gifted to me from one of our coworkers.
Oh.
So we're going to try this bottle out tonight. Lisa, you drink wine?
I do.
Oh, boy.
98% of the reason I took this opportunity.
So, Lisa, how are you finding the real estate market now? What are your predictions? And I'll give you mine.
Yeah. Our market's pretty transient. So, Hoboken, the Jersey City area, we can be in Manhattan in 5 minutes via 4 different ways. So I think we are always a little kind of cocooned in that regard. We always have people coming and going. We've had a lot more people stay. We have a lot more families staying, and that drove the prices of like the single families, the 3-bedroom units, like anything much larger like that has been driven up considerably. Our single family market went up about 24% over COVID, and it's pretty much staying there. So we've been seeing a lot of transition both from a demographic perspective and like people that want to stay, and then we've also but we're down. I mean, I think as a whole, we have like 53 properties on the market as of this morning, and this week last year we had 210. So we're about 1/3 of the production overall as a market.
I think that's still a lot, though.
53 houses, yeah.
But 60,000 people. So it's like when you really do it's low. We have very, very low inventory. So it's kind of propping up the market more so than I think it would be if we
But you're
had more.
saying there's 60 just in your office?
No, in the whole market.
I thought you meant in your office. That's why I said I think that's really good to have 60.
No. We love 60 properties. No, it's in
Okay,
the
I
entire
misunderstood.
town
That's
of
what-
Hoboken. Yeah, it's wild.
Now I get it. Okay.
Yeah, anything from a studio to like a 4-family building, only 53 properties. So it's pretty wild.
Crazy.
I-
Like there's
I
people
thought the
looking in
same
certain
thing.
towns in New Jersey. Did you really?
Yes.
In certain certain towns in New Jersey, and where last year or a year and a half ago, 2 years, there were like 20 something, 30. There's 3.
Yeah, it's wild.
There's 3 different price ranges. It's either 900,000, 700,000, or 400,000, and that's it.
Thank you.
There's not.
You have
No choices
names
now.
on here too. This is
How
quite
cool
the.
is that,
Who
huh?
gave you the glasses? I forget.
My daughter, Luciana, got me the glasses. My daughter, Vittoria, got me this cork holder.
And did Ralphie give you this?
And Ralphie gave me,
3 kids.
3 kids, 2 girls and a boy.
God bless you.
Salute.
Salute.
Salute. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having. That's great.
It's good wine. I'm telling you, these Italians are starting to make some good wine. I'm starting to like the Italian wine. Huh? Forget California.
How many agents do you have in your office?
We have 33 across 2 brokerages. Yeah, so 33. I'd say half of us do the most work, but 33. And
Right.
Yeah, usually they say 80%. 20% does the most,
Yeah.
80% does the least. Now, out of your 33 agents, how many are full-time, how many are part-time?
So most are full-time.
Okay.
I wouldn't know the exact number, but I would say most. I think over when the downturn happened, a couple people got like some side gigs. So I would say we're about 50-50.
Yeah, that
I
happens
think,
in
at this
our
point.
office too.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people are doing that.
Yeah.
Do you foresee more and more people doing that?
Yes.
Yes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I just want everybody out there to know real estate isn't as rosy
Mm-hmm.
as everybody thinks it is.
It's not all
COVID
$29 million listings.
right.
No.
But we're starting to see more and more people, starting to get another job and, getting out of the business and
Yeah.
stuff.
But even when you have open houses now, it could be crowded. People could be coming in and out. You have 20 to 30 families,
Yeah.
but you don't see the offers coming in like you used to.
See, I think that's the difference with our market. Like, I just listed something Thursday night. We had 10 showings before our first open house on, I'm lying to you, 7 showings before our open house on Saturday. We did open houses Saturday and Sunday, 13 groups each open house, and we had 3 offers. We just accepted one. So we're still getting the offers. What I think we're seeing a lot more of, and I'm interested to see what you guys are seeing, but things are going into contract and then getting out of contract. And that, I think, is a
Because
trend
I feel like
that's
buyers
concerning.
aren't folding anymore. Like if they're being pushed, if they do the inspections and things are coming up, when they had 20 offers,
Yep.
people, sellers would say, no, you're not, we're not fixing that. Absolutely not. No way. You know what? Walk. I'm
Yep.
just going to go to the next offer. But they don't have those anymore.
Yeah,
there's
and
a lot of people don't have as many backup offers, and buyers are sticking to their guns and asking for things and willing to walk if.
We've had several situations where, and I feel like no one's talking about it, where people got laid off mid-transaction, or they didn't lock in a rate in time, and the rate shot up by a whole point by the time they could lock in. So we're seeing a lot of people either, I don't know if it's cold feet or if they actually cannot buy, but we're seeing a lot of stuff fall out of contract, and that's why I said to my sellers this weekend, the offer that we chose was not the highest offer, but they waived all of this stuff. And I was like, you need to make sure you can move and you're going to have a solid buyer. And that's kind of why we chose this buyer.
And it's hard to explain sometimes to the other agents out there and say, hey, when the house does close, well, my offer was 10, 20 grand more. Why did they take a lower offer? Because it was yours or whatever? No, had nothing to do with it.
Yep.
We asked you, would you waive this or would you waive that?
terms are so important
and you
now.
said no, and the terms on this one were a lot more important to the seller than the money was.
Yeah, I mean, we're even asking what their position is in their company, because if they, let's say they just started 6 months ago and they're making a certain amount of money, to me that's first in last out, or last in first out. One of those situations. I think we're going to be looking at a lot more layoffs, at least in our market. In the next 6 months or
we're
so.
seeing it everywhere with the layoffs coming, with people not qualifying because the interest rate went a little bit higher than what they thought they were going to get it at 6.5. Now it's 7.5.
Yep.
And 1 percentage point
Changes
on
a lot.
$600,000, $800,000 is a lot of money for
Yeah,
somebody.
I think they say for every percentage that an interest rate goes up, for every full point you lose 9% of affordability. So when you're getting into those higher price points, I mean, you're talking like 100, 200 grand of affordability. It's nuts.
I just had a mortgage. I had 2 mortgage brokers call me this week. One called me to assure me that the person that put an offer in was well qualified. Both had great jobs, and there's no issues.
No issues.
I said, well, you saved me a phone call because I was going to call you. And then I had another broker who said, hey, you've been working with this buyer for a while,
Right.
and I want to introduce myself. I called her yesterday to get a new pre-approval out to her because we were still working on one that was a percentage point lower.
Yep.
And I told her you can't put another offer in until we, requalify you.
Yep.
And those are great mortgage reps out there. Other mortgage reps wouldn't even think twice. Oh, yeah, don't worry about it until you get to the finish line, and then all of a sudden, like you said, it's pulled because, they can't afford it anymore.
Yeah, and it's happening a lot. I have a husband. My husband is a
How many
bizarre way of
husbands
introducing
got
him. Just one.
Are
For
you
now.
sure?
No, I'm just kidding. He is a real estate attorney, and he's seeing 30% of deals go into contract, and by the end of attorney review come out.
It's a good team to have, right?
Yeah, we don't do a lot together actually because of
Big conflict.
people are
right,
a little crazy right now.
But at least you can recommend him and your coworkers who've worked with him. He
Yeah.
has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, and he's very well respected. He came from a big firm atmosphere, which I think is unique. So he does a very good job. But unless it's friends or we have everyone sign a form that says we're both married, we're both benefiting from this. The only way we'll proceed is if you're okay with that.
Yeah.
But we stopped doing a lot of work together because I think that I don't know if you guys are seeing, but I think people got a little crazy. So we're just we're gonna keep this as separate as possible. Yeah. So
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard doing deals even with coworkers.
yeah.
You know, it's when you're in the same office and you're doing deals, it's, you know, everyone's so nice until you're doing a deal together.
Yeah, it can get bad. I mean, we have a good team. Like, I think our crew really gets along, but I think because we're small, you know, we're able to kind of police who's coming in,
Yeah.
who's coming out. Yeah.
But then you really can't control the buyer. You can't
Right.
control.
No,
the
but that's what I'm
seller.
saying. You can have a great relationship.
And then right, you have a
but
great relationship.
You're fighting
with
for
your
your buyer.
coworker,
They're
you're
fighting for their seller.
seller.
Sometimes the
Right.
seller doesn't
True.
make any sense,
Yeah.
but they still have to fight for them. They have no control over it, so
Right,
it
right,
can
that's
get a little
true.
dicey. But
That's true. How many people do you guys have in your office?
60 something.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
even more than
That's
that. Yeah, we have 3 offices:
Oh, wow.
Bergen County, Morris County, and Essex County.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That's great.
So we have quite a few people out there, and we really don't know half of them. No, I'm just kidding. We know everybody that works there, and we all get along, which is nice too. Like you said, it's still small enough
Yeah.
where everybody does get along.
Yeah.
But it's just the market we're in. And we actually had a meeting today, and one of the big things out there was I told everybody, I said, look, you guys got to see. A lot of you haven't been here since 2005, 6, 7, or 8, when the light switch shut off and nothing was selling. I said, you can't go in and get a listing nowadays and tell your seller, hey, you know what, we're going to put a sign up, let's just put it out there with this price. You're going to get
See what
10,
happens.
15 offers, see what happens.
Yep.
Those days are gone.
Yeah.
And, now you're going to give them a guide, but you're going to tell them, look, here, this is what I think might happen, but
Yeah.
we won't know, again, until we put it out there. But, be aware, you might not get 5 offers, 6
Yeah.
offers. You might get a lot of people coming through, but, a lot of them might not, put an offer in anymore.
Are you guys doing a lot of under, like, if a property is supposed to be $715, we're pricing at $699. Are you doing that?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. But
Sometimes the seller doesn't let us, but we
Yeah.
try to tell them why, and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, you have to, especially in today's market. I mean, and I keep telling them all the time, look, you can't overprice, because first off, nobody's going to come.
Yeah.
Or if they do come, you're not going to get any offers, because some people's mentality is still, hey, you know what, they're asking 700. I know he wants 750 or 7
or
and
you
a
just
quarter.
assume it's
You're
gonna go
assuming,
down.
it's
Yeah.
going to go
Used to-
way over.
Yeah.
And nobody is, putting in lower offers.
Yeah.
But I'm actually starting to see that.
Yeah.
Where
Yep, 100%.
somebody's asking 700 and you're getting a 650 offer.
But you also have to see what else is on the market. You have to see what your competition is. Sometimes I feel like realtors just do the comps based on bedrooms, bathrooms, that's it. But
Right.
if you're pricing your house the same exact way someone else is, it's the same number of bedrooms, bathrooms, but they renovated the entire house.
Right.
Everything is gorgeous. They have a finished basement, they have a 2-car garage, and you're not factoring that in.
Yeah.
What's going to happen when you guys have open houses on the same night?
Right,
On the
exactly.
same weekend? They're going to compare that, and they're not going to want to go over. I mean, someone might settle and offer lower, whatever. But I feel like now you have to do more work.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone should do that always, but you have to do your job a little bit.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, to go back to your original question, I think you're going to have mass exodus. And I'm psyched. Like, not to
No,
be a jerk. Get out. Like, I am so sick of, like, the agent that got their license, like, 4 years ago, and they're just like, well, I don't do my own, I don't put out my open house signs. Good for you. What?
There's
I'm
people that
done.
don't answer their phones. They don't answer questions. They don't
Yes.
know anything.
Yep.
I just called an agent, it's like a couple weeks ago. We went to go see a house, and I looked it up. I'm like, why did she put... The house was built in 19 whatever. It was built in 1872. All
Yep.
the records, every record. There were 5 previous listings on this house, like
Everything.
from a long time ago.
Yep.
They all had the same thing. I'm like, hey, just an FYI, you might want to change the MLS. It was actually built in this.
Yeah.
Hey, FYI, that doesn't count as a bedroom. There's no closet or whatever. You listed it as a 3-bedroom. Whatever. She's like, oh, okay, thank you.
I mean, I'll do for, like, my super high-end clients, I'll preview first. Like, a lot of times they're coming
Yes,
from
yeah,
overseas
yes.
or they can't make it, so I'll go and preview first, and I'll be standing there with the listing agent. I'm like, how many square feet is this house? And they literally will look at me and be like, well, I think there. I'm like, that is, like, Like, you need to know what that's like the address. How big is it?
You don't have to measure anything.
No.
You don't even have to measure
Right.
it. You just
Or
go
just
on
say,
RPR.
Right.
Look it up.
It's like
tell you.
simple stuff that nobody cares. I mean, no one was driving the bus for like 3 years, I feel like. So, like, for me,
And
I'm
sometimes
like,
if you
that.
go
No
to
one
open-
was
yeah.
driving a bus.
No,
Now a lot of them are going to get hit by that bus because they're not going to be doing
Yeah,
real
and-
estate anymore.
figuratively.
But there's so
I'm
many
psyched
times
about
you
that.
go to an open house with your clients, or even like you said, you preview, and they don't. I'm not saying all, but
Yeah.
a lot of agents don't know anything, even
Yeah.
what they're looking for. What are the sellers looking for? I'm going to write it up, or what do they want to close?
Yep.
I don't know. I would like to, put in the contract what the sellers would like.
Yep.
To make my offer more appealing, and they're just.
I mean, we even said, I'll even flip it onto the list side. I lost 2 big listings in the past. I have to say, and I'm not saying this to pat myself on the back, I very rarely lose listings. I only work by referral. So, like, if someone referred me in, you usually have a one-up anyway. That person trusts you. They know that I'm going to do a good job because I did a good job for X, Y, and Z. I love working by referral. I had 2 massive listings that I got referred to, like $3 million listings. And I walked in and I gave them the price and I was like, I think this should be priced at $3 million. They were both almost the exact same pricing structure. I think this should be priced at $3 million. I would price it at $299,999. They were like, well, no, I have this agent telling me it's $3.5. I'm like, that agent is insane. You can't, they're just trying to, and I'll say, I totally blow up spots. I'm like, that agent is just trying to get the listing.
Yes.
There's no way in hell this thing goes for $3.5. Both of those listings right now, one is finally in contract. It's definitely under $3.5, and the other one's still sitting. If you have a listing that's sitting in a market that only has 50 listings per 60,000 people, you priced it wrong.
Yeah.
You priced it
too
wrong.
high.
And now you're going to shoot yourself in the foot and the thing's going to go, you probably could have gotten over 3 if you had gone under. And now it's so frustrating because it's like, you want to help people, but I think the perception
they
of
don't
realtors
understand.
is like,
if they hear someone giving them a higher number, and I always say, I'm not saying your house isn't worth that.
Right.
Someone could come in and offer a tremendous amount of money, but
Yeah.
the reality is, the less people that come in, the less offers you're going to have. So let's price it here
Yep.
to get more people in, and if it is worth it, they will fight for it.
because
people
the
will
difference of
offer the
going
money.
like from $699 to $715 is like, I mean, at this point, it's probably more
It's
like
not.
150 bucks a
right.
month, something like
Yeah.
that. It's nothing
No.
if in the
and
payment.
if you're going in at a $699 house, you could most likely afford the $715, especially in this market. You're
100%.
assuming that it's going to go over, so it's not like you're not. No one's really shopping at their max unless it's been sitting a long time.
Right. Yep.
I had, speaking about the 715 and the 699, this is going back about 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe even longer. I went to give someone a price on a house, and I told them, let's list it for $119,900. At the time, $119,900 was a lot of money. I'll never forget, it was a house in Clifton.
Yeah.
And the seller's like, no, I want to list it at 121 something or 122
Same thing.
something, which was basically the same thing.
Same thing.
I said, no, you got to do 119.9. It's 121.9 or 122.9. That's a better number. I said, look, it's $2,000, $3,000, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I said, but when somebody's looking at a house at 119.9, they're thinking one in teens. I go, now we put it at 120 something. Now they're thinking 125,
Yep.
130, whatever. I go, it's a whole different
all psychology.
mentality. It's
Yep.
all psychology.
Yeah.
I go, I'm a numbers guy, and I'm just telling you my opinion. Well, no, we're going to try to house that for like 2-3 months.
It's like-
at the one. Finally, he listened.
Makes my
we put
skin
it,
like oil.
yeah. Finally, we put at 119.9. We sold the house. I think we got 120 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But again, it's psychological for
Yep.
a lot of people.
It's such a shame.
And getting back to referrals, my business, I'd say 90% of it is referrals also.
Yep.
And I actually got referred to someone, actually while I was in Italy. My phone rang and I answered it. And I came back. I went to look at the house, gave them, my opinion, market analysis or whatever. And they're looking at me and they're like, oh, okay, yeah. But it was the opposite way. They thought their house was worth a lot less.
Oh, that's the best feeling in the world. Like, I
Yeah.
just found you a giant bag of money.
Yes.
Or
yes.
when they
Enjoy.
say, whatever you want. I had,
Right.
they're like, whatever, if you decide you think you might want to list a little low, even after we sign, it's fine. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's a dream.
those are the best because they listen to you. But and then I've had them, where they thought it was a lot more money, and
Yeah.
then I put them into a reality check, And the same thing, you know, I would get, well, the other agent told me, you know, 650. I don't do the $29 million
Right.
houses. I'm sorry, but
Don't be
they
sorry.
said
Probably do better than me.
they said, you know, they told me 650.
Yeah.
You're telling me, you know, 599. Well, I said the other agents basically wants to buy your listing. I said if you feel comfortable
Yep.
with them
Buy your listing.
buying
That's
your
good terminology.
listing,
Yep.
you know what? Give it to them.
I always
Yeah.
say to them, I'm like, I'm a percentage of your sale. Of course I want this to go for more money. Like, but
Right.
this is
But
going to
you
make...
can't guarantee it, and you're trying to help them get the most money.
Yeah. And if we put it on here, no one's making money. Like, I want to get you the most money possible. This is how I want to do it. The market dictates the price, certainly now, without a doubt.
There's a house in East Hanover that's sitting. And like, I just want to call the owner and be like, "This is why I'm not trying to get
Yeah.
your listing, but this is why it's
Yeah.
is why it's sitting." He didn't do an open house. They're not professional pictures. Like
God,
the
please
pictures,
don't even go down that
the
rabbit hole.
pictures
I'm gonna
are
lose
just
my
from
mind.
his phone, I think, or whatever. It like drives me crazy.
I love the one when they're doing pictures of the bathroom. They go
Yes.
like this.
Oh,
it's
and they're
the
in there,
mirror,
they're
and they're in,
reflection.
and they're in
I'm
it.
like getting hot. I
Or the
can't-
toilet seats
so
up,
mad.
right? The
The
toilet
toilet
seats.
seats. Or the dogs on the
There's
foot of the bed.
But
You're like,
what about the picture? Who sent? Someone sent out in the group chat. They went for pictures for a list. Was it a listing?
Listing,
The
yeah.
bed was all unmade, and there were two cats. Like one cat was sitting on the headboard, and one was sitting on the bed, just staring at the photographer.
like a half-eaten enchilada on the floor.
Yeah,
You're like,
and I'm like,
Someone
you're gonna
please.
use that picture for the MLS? And then the smoker was on the second floor balcony without a shirt, smoking a cigarette.
oh my
I
God.
said, yeah, use that picture too.
It's wild.
But yeah, a lot of agents weren't using professional pictures. They were
But
just
now,
taking
like-
the pictures
Yeah, no.
themselves.
We make
It's
it
always
mandatory,
important. It's always important. But now, especially, like you want it to look the best. You want people to go. You don't want people to be like, "Oh, all right, I can't see half the house because of the shadow from the phone or the bush or wherever this person was."
Right.
And the realtor open houses are actually coming back. You know, the actual
Yeah.
realtor open houses. We had one today, since this is a night podcast. This was earlier today. We had one, and our whole office was there, but we only got like one or two realtors when I left, you know?
Yeah.
Which was insane. You figure realtors are gonna go back out and look at houses, but
I mean,
guess,
it's also like I don't know if you guys have people that go into the office. That kills me. So I'm paying this
Yeah.
rent for these beautiful shops that we built out. And for Angle and Volkers, they have a shop concept. So basically, all of our offices look exactly the same in 33 countries around the world, so that you walk in and you feel like you're going to buy a luxury item. It's like a whole psychological play. And I bought into it hard. I have no problem. When I bought the company, I was like, no problem. We're blowing these out. We're going to
Yeah.
do a whole thing. I mean, I'm looking at Nicole like winking. We can't get agents to come in the office.
Yeah.
I'm like, I will pay you more on your next deal if you sit in the office for a certain amount of hours per week. I had one agent take advantage of it. I'm
Is
like,
Jay Fiala listening to this? Did you hear that? What she does? She.
it's like, to me, because if you sit there and you talk, it used to be like I've only been a realtor for 13 years, but I was brought up, my mentor was an old school realtor, and he was in the business for like 30 years. And there was so much business that used to get done at the broker
At the
opens,
office, right.
at the office, we used to talk about things and be like, hey, they have this thing coming up. Oh, this would be great for one of my buyers. Let me see it before. There's so much of that happened. That didn't go away. We just stopped all talking to each other. So it's
Yeah.
like, it made the business so isolating, and I think it killed a lot of business.
Mm-hmm.
It did. You know, in our office, I'm there every day. I go to the office every day. It could be 9 to 5. You know, naturally in between you do your running around and stuff, and I see it where hardly anybody, you know, comes back into the office.
No one.
Saturdays,
Vito gets
Sundays.
very lonely.
I get lonely.
It is
Very
lonely.
lonely. Yeah.
You're sitting there like, what am I doing here? But at the end, I could never get work done at my house, ever.
No, me neither. On Saturday or Sunday,
Yeah.
my wife's like, "Where are you going?" "I'm going to the office." "What are you going to the office?"
I'm going to the office.
Yeah.
During COVID, we were actually one of the first brokerages in Hoboken to shut down. And I would sneak in every day and do work in the corner with like the lights on and like a candle. I was like, I hope the police don't see that I'm in here. But I was like, there's no way I'm keeping this place alive in my house. I was like drinking wine every day, and it was terrible. You need to be in the
that
office.
we don't do. We don't drink wine in the office.
We would never.
Us either.
Only at night.
Yeah.
Only at night.
We don't
when
have
we
a
go
nice
in at night,
machine
yeah,
or a little mini
anything
fridge
like
or
that.
anything in our office.
We don't either.
But yeah, I agree 100%. People need to start coming back into the office. They need to realize this is a job. when I went full-time, I did real estate part-time for probably 15 years. And when I decided to do it full-time, I worked in corporate, so I was always traveling, always working. I'm up at 5, working till midnight, whatever.
Yep.
And I go to the office, and I would go to the office at like 7:30 in the morning and start looking, doing your hot sheets, doing whatever when I just went in full time.
Yeah.
And I see these realtors stroll in around 10 o'clock, 10:30, and I'm like, wait a minute, you guys don't have like a regular job, regular time, you should come in. And when I did it part-time, I would go sometimes early in the morning.
Yep.
And after work, 6 o'clock, I'd go back in, and I'd never run into anybody back then. And I'm like, this is a job.
Yeah.
We make a lot of money, helping out the sellers, helping out the buyers, but we have to put the time into it. We got to let everybody know, hey, this is our value.
Yep.
This is why you're paying us. Besides, the knowledge and all that, we put a lot of time into it.
And it is nice to be in the office and bounce around. Especially if you're going on a CMA and you're looking at a list, you want everyone's opinion on the price and what do you think? Like, here's the address, let me know what you think. I mean, some people don't want to give addresses and that type of thing. But we always bounce. I always go to Vito or Jay or Matt. I always ask, what do you think this should be? Here's what I like. I'm not going to tell you what I have with the number I came out with, but you tell me this, and usually
100%.
Yeah.
I'd say 30% of my day is answering that exact call from my agents. Can I just bounce this off of you? Can I just do this? I'm thinking about doing this video. I'm thinking about doing this. And I love it. That's the best part about being a broker, because you're like, okay, let's collaborate. Let's do something. We didn't have that for we did our best to keep it together with Zoom and all that, but we did a happy hour the other night. I had 7 agents show up. I'm like, free booze.
Yeah.
Well,
Where
that's
are you?
We would never
The
have
floor
7
time,
agents.
okay, I'll let that
That
slide. But the happy hour,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, our happy
butt
hour.
in the stool. Let's
nobody
go.
comes to floor time, but happy hour we'll get like 50 people.
we always get a load.
Yeah, you have I have title agencies and home inspectors like, oh, we'd like to sponsor a lunch. I'm like, don't just sponsor
Don't
a
even
happy
think
hour.
about
Like,
it.
there needs to be booze or no one's coming.
No one's coming.
It's a
And there
sad-
was booze, and only 7 people came, which was crazy.
Right.
But
So.
it's funny though how it's difficult to get these people into the office.
It's shocking to me. I don't know how. Nicole's nodding. Nicole runs both my shops, and it's
there
like
you go, Nicole.
we
See?
meet about it daily.
I want to hear about the other thing you do.
The other thing. The app. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So, how much do you want to hear the origin story?
We
Yes,
want to
the
heir
origin story, we wanna
everything
hear
about
everything.
it.
So-
I like the way you went into that. Very nice.
We were dying a little, so I figured
We were talking a little.
let's change the subject.
But by the way, she's got ADD.
Oh, I love
ADHD,
I think I'm undiagnosed, so you're in good company.
Everybody, and I'm not trying to be rude. My
I
husband
don't
always
think-
says, he goes, when you talk, you make it seem like what you have to say is more important than everybody else, but that's not true. I'm just like,
Your head's always going. Yeah. No.
She's
I think I'm
always-
undiagnosed. So it's
sorry.
it's
And
fine.
I cannot, if I'm looking at, if he's talking and like I look at my phone, then he'll just be like, I'll stop because you can't do both. You can't listen to me and look at your phone at the same time. And I can't.
But
No, I'm from a big Italian family. I'm used to fighting for the airspace. It's so I had a big listing. I had a $3.5 million brownstone. Same thing. Didn't list about the price. Listed it at whatever it was just to have it. My mistake. Then it's a very long backstory that I shouldn't put on the air, but basically the developer ended up being kind of a bad guy. Found out a little too late, and we parted ways. And as I was so I had it was 4 floors. I had about $10,000 worth of staging furniture in there. And and I was there for the drawing of the property. I put all the marketing together. I mean, I paid for all the videos. I mean, I was into this place for
Yeah.
$25,000.
Wow.
Then the staging furniture. Yeah, it was wild. Anyway, things happen. Business, it is what it is.
and all you
good-
realtors out there, it's not easy.
No.
25 grand just on
And
your
you're not
listing.
even sure you're
And
gonna
you're
get
not even going to
paid,
get
so,
sure
you
In
you
this
know,
case,
like-
I did not.
Oh, boy.
But yeah, so I mean, it is what it is. You can't. You think you know people, but you don't. It's
And
fine.
you learn, right?
You learn. I mean, this is what came out of it. So
Yeah.
this is hopefully, my retirement plan. So hopefully That'll be the story we tell. But anyway, so long story short, I'm sitting in the living room and my mover, shout out to Alpha Moving and Storage, Mark from Alpha Moving is an amazing guy. I met him at this property as he was carrying stuff out, and I am weeping like an insane, a grown woman. I'm like, I can't believe this.
Sometimes
Like,
you just can't control it. It just comes out. He's seen me like, woo.
I was like, all the time, all the money.
Please, both of you, don't start crying.
Yeah.
I only have one bottle of wine.
And you know, you just put so much into it, and I was friendly with the developer. It was just this whole thing. So, long story short, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I can't believe all this stuff is going on. And the only other listing I had to move it to, because at the time things were moving like that, which is another testament to why the thing didn't move. So things are moving like that. I had everything under contract. The only thing I could move it to was I called the client and I was like, I know we're supposed to list your vacant 1-bedroom for rent in a week. I got to move furniture into it now. And she's like, do whatever you got to do. So Mark moved everything for me into there. 3 floors of a house into this thing. So I was like, I'm not throwing out this furniture. Like, there's got to be a way.
So where else would the furniture have gone, though?
I would have had to throw it out. So I'd have had to throw it out. I had some of our agents take it to stage other properties. I called outside agencies. I was like, come take some of this stuff. Like, it's got to go somewhere. Pay me if you can. I don't care if you don't. I have nowhere to put it. And I'm sitting on the couch. I'm like, there's got to be a better way than this. Like, all of this furniture is just wasted. And
Because
it's
some
like a
people
light
can't
bulb
afford
went
a
off.
storage unit to hold all the furniture. Either.
Yeah, especially in Hoboken.
Yeah.
They're like $500 a month. So a light bulb went off. And I was like, what if each piece of furniture could have its own profit center? What if each piece of furniture could be rented or taken out? And I brought it home to my husband, who usually tells me, you know, you're crazy. And he was like, maybe you might have something here. I'm like, essentially, it's the Airbnb for furniture. Like, so each piece of furniture.
I love it.
Yay, thank you. Hopefully everybody else does.
I love it because
so I can retire.
a lot of people can't afford the traditional staging. You hire someone to
It's
stage.
so
They bring in.
expensive.
It's so expensive.
And rightfully so, honestly. Like, when we dove into the
It's a lot
back
of
end
work.
costs, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of insurance. It's a
Yeah.
lot of overhead. They have to buy the stuff. They have to store the
And
stuff.
store it, and sometimes they don't
move it every
use
time.
it for months.
Yeah, a lot of our buildings require professional movers, so you're paying at least $600 to get these things in and out. I get it. Like, I got all of it. And so I used to be in digital media, so I put on Facebook, I was like, hey, old school UGOers, does anybody have an app developer that I could talk to? And this one girl, Grace, that I kept in touch with via Facebook, she's like, I have this developer, they're in Jordan, the country, like, they'd love to meet with you. It was like, great, we met, and over 2 years, we self-funded the
Wow.
production of it, which was a
Facebook
great little
is great
project.
for certain things.
It really is. I know it's getting a bad rap, but it really would. I mean, it saved us. So we did that. We did offshore development for 2 years, and then we did like a whole year of testing. We had a small test group of people we trusted to keep it quiet because it is first to market. There's nothing like it. There's furniture stuff where you rent from a company, and they'll rent you
Right.
the furniture, but there's none where, you know, Vito puts on a chair and you rent it.
So if I go on the app, right,
Yep.
and then I could just like I'm shopping. I
Correct.
could just search and say, okay, I need 2 of those stools. Take the stools. Now, does someone drop them off, or do I pick them up?
So that was actually a huge issue with the development. We spent about 6 months testing out different ways to do this. The only way it makes sense without having a moving company involved, which we really
That's
felt strongly,
expensive.
exactly. The whole point was to cut the cost. The only way to do it was to have the people arrange it themselves. So on the app, it tells you, you know, the owner, it's called a handshake. And the owner, you handshake that you're going to do the deal. And then the owner tells you where to pick it up. And then that person goes and picks it up. Only after it was charged. So you can get it back if you never pick up you can get the money back. But we had to do it that way, or otherwise people just, it's like Airbnb. We'll
Ooh,
talk off
maybe
the
I
app,
could
you know?
fill out, and he could do that stuff with his pickup truck.
There you go.
Charge people
Yeah.
to take the stuff back and forth.
Yeah, I
He's
mean, the
retired
next-
now, so I'm trying to keep him
That's
busy.
And that's
a
great.
cool idea.
That
I mean,
is
it's
awesome.
basically like Craigslist, but hopefully without the creepiness.
Right. Without the guy sitting behind the tree with the camera taking
Without
pictures
the
of
murders.
you.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick up a stool today. Uh-oh. Looks like trouble.
But it's got legs. I mean, it's not even.
I love it. I think it's amazing. I
It's
love
good
that
for
idea.
not only realtors and stagers because each thing has its own profit center, has its own calendar. So if you put that chair on, you can eliminate, like you could say, let's say you're having, it even works for like people in a city atmosphere, you're having a bunch of people over for Christmas.
I was just
right?
going to say that.
I
yeah.
need 16 more chairs. If you go to a rental company, you're looking at $200-$300. Maybe each chair is $2. You rent it for one night, you return it to the guy the next day. So it's got like legs to it.
Yeah.
We're interested to see
'Cause
where
even
it goes.
renting crappy stuff is very expensive. Like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
rent stuff from party places, and you need, just your basic stools and folding chairs. I mean, it's hundreds or thousands of dollars just to rent that for like 50 people.
Yep.
It's insane.
And then thank you for bringing that up. The other part is like we dove into it, and there's like fast furniture is a huge burden on our planet apparently. So there's like most furniture from IKEA, Wayfair, Overstock, like they produce this furniture people think they use once and then they throw it out. So our landfills are completely overrun with this furniture made out of stuff that doesn't break down. So there's a whole other component to that where we're like, okay, if we can take like 25% of all of this furniture out of landfills, then we're doing something really great for the environment too.
Well, it doesn't help that Wayfair just refunds you for anything and tells you to keep
Yeah,
it most of the time.
right.
You're like, oh,
And
there's a
then you
nick.
throw
I'm like,
it
but
out.
I don't want it.
Right.
You sent me 9 chandeliers that were all broken. I don't want them.
Exactly. And that's the thing.
That's why the landfills are so big.
Yeah. So we're excited about it. It was a lot of fun.
Because a lot of people just need like a console table or a little thing, like a little piece of furniture and a nice big chair to
Yeah.
like go by the fireplace. Or you don't have to do the whole house. You just want little pieces to fill in the spots that need something.
Think about if you have like you have baby coming into town or something, or you have a baby and you have a mom coming in for 2 months, and you're going to buy a whole bedroom set? Like, no, you just buy it, rent it for a month, and then you return it.
Or you got people that live in these big houses, and then all of a sudden they're going to have company over. They got no furniture to begin with. The
Right.
house is half empty.
Exactly.
Let me go on the app, and all of a sudden now, their house is full
Yeah,
of
and then
furniture.
you get it out before they leave and go
And-
back
and
to the
then-
way you live, right?
It's really, so what do you? So is there something if they put a stain on it? Like, is there like
We
a
didn't
deposit?
get into that. Yeah, there is a deposit. There's different like protocols there. We do make you sign your life away if you're going to do it. I mean, it's kind of the only way we could do it. I mean, my advice to people is don't do this with like grandma's heirloom chair. Like it is very much like a Facebook marketplace type atmosphere. So you don't know who's taking it, and if you are going to rent it, don't rent the really nice stuff without knowing that you might not get it back the way you had
Right.
it. It's one of those things.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Airbnb. You don't rent your house if you're worried about the
the
floor getting
stain or
scratched
whatever.
up. Yeah.
I like it too, where say you have a piece of furniture where you're thinking of getting rid of and you want to get something new. I mean, if you can store that piece of furniture and put it on your app, and now when anybody ever wants it, hey, instead of throwing it away, now I rent it out to.
Do you do like accessories too?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. We have a whole category for accessories. We have a category for each big piece of furniture. We have like a generalized category for outdoor because
I
it
have
would just
so
made
many
like
pictures that I bought
No,
and
thank
just
you.
never put in my house.
Nicole,
like,
you
brand
driving
new.
home?
Nicole's gonna drive.
And I have so many throw pillows that I bought
Yes.
at like Home Goods and then brought them home and I probably have 15 brand new throw pillows in my attic.
See,
I have
there you go.
sconces. I have a brand new. All right, I'm gonna go on the app. I have so many things.
Please, I
See,
mean,
brand
see
new-
what you did.
and that's what we're looking to do.
Brand
Is we
new
need
chandelier
downloads
in the box. It's this huge chandelier because we ordered this chandelier and I called and complained about this one tiny piece on it. I don't know how many times. Finally, they kept sending me the wrong thing. I'm like, no, it's the big, giant, clear ball. There's a bubble in it, and it's driving me crazy. Meanwhile, it's like all the way up in this thing. So they kept sending me the wrong thing, like the shades, this, that, and then finally all of a sudden one day we opened the door, there's a box this big. They just capitalized and just sent us the entire chandelier. Like,
They're like,
leave us
"Stop calling."
the hell alone. And so we have a whole another brand new
Another
big chandelier. Maybe
There
I'll
you
throw
go.
that on there.
You can throw that on there. You know how many things you can throw on there, right?
I'm gonna make it big now.
I love it. Please.
You got a lot of toys that you have in the house,
Oh, God, I know.
kids' toys and stuff. Maybe
Brand new. Everything's brand new.
Brand new. See,
And
You
I
put
I always
that on
miss the
there.
cutoff for the return date.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
buy stuff, so I have so many things.
Yeah, and we need, that's what we're really trying to get people to do is download and use it. Right now, I think it's a very overwhelming thing to just kind of put your stuff out there. So it's a new, it's a new app. You don't know who you're giving it to. But my advice is treat it like it's Craigslist
Now,
2009.
do you have an option to buy?
Yes.
Okay.
So you can put it on for sale, you can put it on for rent.
Damn, you're good today.
Yeah, you really are.
You bring furniture and clothes or
Clothes and
something.
something in there. Oh my God! Forget about real
We
estate.
talked about
Professional setup.
commercial real estate investments. I was like,
I thought I was going to be in
Staring
somebody's
into
basement
space.
today with like a headset. This is really very professional.
Oh my gosh! but it's a really good thing you
it's
came
amazing.
out with.
I think it's so cool.
From
But-
your mouth to God's ears.
But think about how the real estate business is going to go right now, where we're actually getting a little quieter.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get back to the old way of doing business. You got to go
She's
stage
got me knocking
these
on
houses.
doors. This one.
That's
yeah.
it. We're going
we have an
knocking
agent
on doors.
knocks on doors every day.
Absolutely.
Every day.
See?
Walks around, knocks on doors. I was like, how are you not getting punched in the face? It's amazing.
Why
if I
is
go
anyone
by,
opening the door?
yeah,
Right.
if I go by
Somebody
my,
knocks on my door, it'd
and
be
I
like
don't know who you
1980,
are,
like-
I am not opening the door. Even if I don't think any
Some-
of my neighbors
some-
watch this, but sometimes I see my neighbors coming.
And you duck behind a couch. I'm
some,
like,
somebody rang our doorbell the other day. I go, Ian, get down.
Right,
Get
yeah, we're
down.
all down. We are. You go down below the window, behind the curtain, anything.
it's so true.
Meanwhile, all we want them to do is sell their house.
Right.
You know.
We're trying to help you.
It's crazy. It's a crazy world.
But it's gotten to where we got to go back and, think about, the old way of doing business. And you're not going into a house just to list a house and
Yeah.
say, here, oh, yeah, everything's perfect, hey.
And it's not easy to call
No.
people and have them say not so nice things to you, hang up, or not. It's not fun.
I have my
it's
clients
not fun.
right now. I'm selling their place, and she's like, I don't know why you do this for a living. Like, why did you choose this profession? I'm like, I'm starting to wonder why myself. Like,
I had someone, I was talking to him for the longest time. He was a for sale by owner, and I was like, well, I'm a real estate agent. He's like, oh, Nina, I'm so disappointed in you. Because we were talking really
so true.
And I was like, oh, I don't know if let me introduce myself. He's like, oh, Nina, I'm so disappointed.
I know, it's so sad.
I'm so sorry.
But it's also
like this. I'm never calling anybody again.
Don't you think it's like the shows? Like, I feel like the selling sunsets and the $1 million listing. It's just like people walk in and I lost a listing because I didn't drive a Range Rover. That is an actual. A guy said to me, "We're going to go with the other agent because he has a Range Rover," and I said,
Really?
please repeat that, just so I know that I
Right.
didn't just stroke out
Right,
and
hold on,
that
can you
actually was what
say
you
it
said.
again?
Yeah. And he's like, well, if he can afford that, he must be doing well.
No,
I'm like,
because you know what?
Or he's living in it.
Yes. I was just going to say, or he
went
can afford to
on-
pay his mortgage because he's driving a Range Rover to
Or he
impress
went,
everybody.
or he went on
Rented
an
it.
app and rented a Range Rover.
100%. 100%.
No, it's so true.
It's such a wild business, I swear.
That's ridiculous.
yeah.
To actually say it.
Yeah, no,
And
that's-
mean it.
Yeah, and actually
Just
mean
looked
it.
me in the eye and
Nice,
told me. I was like,
because he drove a
well,
Range Rover.
there's
And what
nothing I
if,
can do there.
I can afford a Range Rover. I'm not saying I can. I'm just saying.
Right.
You
Do
could
I
have said, I can afford one. I just don't want to spend my money that way. How do you know I don't have 8 houses and a villa in Italy and all this?
I ran.
That
Literally
was
ran
rude.
away. I was
Yeah.
like, this is not a transaction I want to be a
No.
part of.
Yeah, you don't want to be a part
No.
of that. I pulled up with my 1972 Dodge Colt, my first car that I had.
I love it.
And I got the listing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I still drive it today.
Well, you got some people that are
Yeah,
like,
right.
yeah. I have a nicer truck that, broke down or I had to bring to the shop.
What kind of truck?
It's a Mercedes truck. It's like a middle of the road truck
look at
that I got a
okay.
great deal on. So whatever. And
Pre-COVID, so she
Pre-COVID.
her
Yeah.
rate
But it's
was
just
a
like
lot.
Jackie. She got the great deal on her Lexus. You're like, oh, okay. It was more, right? She was saying the higher end, they take more time with you and they work with you.
yeah. Yeah.
So go
But
ahead. Sorry
that
to
broke
interrupt.
down. I had to take my husband has only had 2. He's 44 years old. Has only had 2 cars his entire life, and they were both Jeep Grand Cherokees. And this thing won't die.
See, that's
won't
the
die.
thing that
the
I
thing
want.
smells like potatoes. It is disgusting.
I like potatoes.
And he's like, take the Jeep. I'm like, you want me to go to $11 million listing appointment in this thing? And he's like, yeah, they'll think you need the money. Sure as I want. And we had a great meeting. I was like,
I'm trying to get my son a Jeep Grand Cherokee, like a used
they're
one.
insane now.
And they are insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. Every used one that's a decent price, I take to the mechanic. He's like, oh, it's $4,600 because the whatever's going.
Yeah, it's
I'm like, you know what? All right, forget it. I love them. They're so nice. Did you see the Jeep, the Grand Wagoneer?
Yes, I've been in one.
I would
That
live
thing-
in that car.
You could live in that car.
It
With
is
like a family of 10.
The nicest.
Huge.
It is
Yeah.
humongous, and it's like a luxury hotel inside. It's gorgeous.
You need that. I feel like you can't drive that yourself. I feel like that is like you need a driver and like
Right.
a guy
I
on the
want to sit
street
in the
doing
back
this.
seat
Like
with
it was
all the
huge.
screens and all the iPads or whatever's back there. It's so cool.
But, speaking about the cars, though, I'm laughing because remember the video we did at the office where I think Tina came with her Range Rover. Jay pulled up with his Porsche
Porsche.
Cayenne.
Okay.
Meg
Meg
pulled
had her
up with
Beamer.
her BMW X6. And then Frank, which does a hell of a lot of business. Pulled up with a little Honda.
Hybrid. He's like in his Toyota hybrid.
Hybrid or
It's blue. It's like, but it was so funny because the video was hysterical. We'll show you
Right.
after. It was so funny.
great.
It was like, oh, hi, Vito's in his Ferrari. This one's in a Porsche. And he's like, oh, hi, Frank. Well,
Everybody's
pulls
like,
up in his
hi,
little-
hi.
You guys
hi.
out here, and like I'm from Bergen County. I grew up in Bergen County, and the restaurants are my favorite part. If we pull up in the Jeep, that Jeep is parked like 7 blocks down. We have to wait 45 minutes for them to bring the Jeep back. If we show up in just the Mercedes, it's a normal like E-Class
Right,
Mercedes.
right.
They are like, we're parking this right out front, and I'm like, why? This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. We start bringing the nicer cars or choosing friends that have
'Cause they
nicer
think
cars
they're
because
gonna
we
get-
can get out faster.
A little more tip from that one.
No, but every time, and I own a Ferrari, but every time I want to go out to dinner, my wife doesn't want to go with the Ferrari. So I'm like,
You can pick me
okay.
up in the Ferrari. I'll go to dinner with you.
But one night,
He was going to pick my son up and take him to school in a Ferrari. That never happened.
but
God, we are
what,
going down a path. I don't know that you're ready to go down.
but what one night that you're saying about restaurants, we actually took I took it out, and I'm like, you know what? We're driving. I said, we're going to go to dinner.
Yeah.
We went to one restaurant. They were packed or whatever. So then we ended up going to a restaurant in Totowa on Union Boulevard.
Okay.
Union Boulevard's like the main drag. And I'm trying to think if they had valet parking or not, but it was packed. So I said, you know what? I found a park right on the street. So I pull on the street. I park the car. I get out of the car, go to the restaurant to eat. The owner comes out. He goes, "That's your car?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "You can't leave it out there." I go, "Why?" I go, "It's in the street." He goes, "No. He calls the waiter. "Move that car, the handicap
And
car
you're like,
there.
"Don't you
that
stay
car
away
there,
from my
you
car."
stay
Did you even let him?
No. And he goes, "Just you drive it and come and park it right here." He made me park it right in front of the restaurant, moved a couple cars just to park the car. I guess he just wanted
Yeah.
But I was dying. I'm like, wait a minute.
Okay.
Now,
He has a heart attack if he has his regular BMW.
Regular, yeah.
And he sees me skidding in the parking lot to the office and parking next to him. He's always at the window like,
Wait, I have a slight obsession. I was just in Modena at the Ferrari Museum. I have a very
I
just
missed it.
uncracked
I was
the whole
just there.
thing.
I wanted to go, but I missed it. But
What model do you have? If you
I
don't
have
mind?
a F430 in red Mugello. I'll show you the pictures later.
Please.
But it's,
I grew up. I grew up. My grandfather used to own the Rockley Country Club.
Okay.
no way.
I was just at a wedding there, and I'm
He
going
sold it
again.
to Puccio. So the guy that owns it now made it absolutely beautiful, but my grandfather started it. So I've been like around
Wow.
entrepreneurs my
Nice.
whole life. And he lived in a modest house in Demarest. Like you drive right past it, you would never know. He had 6-car garage, and everything in there was a Ferrari. It was his thing.
Wow.
So I grew up with them. Like I have my holiday pictures with them. I can actually feel everyone in my office cringing and rolling their eyes right now because they make so much fun of me. But I always said, I know I will make it when I can get a Ferrari Testarossa, an 81 Ferrari
I
Testarossa.
just
That is
saw
my
one.
car.
Yeah, I saw one of them at a car show not too long ago. Yeah.
What?
See,
I
I'm
blame
not-
you
Well,
here.
tell him, what did I think your brand new BMW was?
Oh,
I don't know
Toyota
cars.
or
No,
something,
I thought it was a
or Honda
Charger.
Or Charger, yeah. She's
I'm like, is that a Charger? He's like, oh my God. I can't. I'm like, well, I don't
Wait.
know cars. I just
I-
like giant ones. I like giant ones with a good dashboard.
See,
Yeah.
I love cars. When I went to high school, I never went to college, but I went to high school. I went
Okay.
to a vocational technical high school.
Okay.
And I took up automotive.
Okay.
I graduated as a certified auto mechanic.
Wow.
So I always loved cars.
What a character arc
I
you've
did
had.
it. I did it for maybe a year or so, and I said, you know what, I can't do this. But I always loved cars, and I never told this story on the air, but I'm going to tell it now. But I had a 1972 Firebird.
Okay.
I was still in high school at the time, and I was going to high school and working at the same time. So I had the car all restored. I had it repainted. I made it look like a Trans Am instead of a Firebird.
Mm-hmm.
So now I need an Eagle on the hood. You remember the old Trans
Yes.
Ams? They had
Like
the,
every ex-boyfriend I had
Right.
a Trans Am.
all right, so they had
through
the-
like
Did he have feathered hair?
Yeah. I went through like a significant bad boy phase. Please
they,
continue.
they had the
Every day. You have to.
they had, so now I got to get the eagle on the hood. So I got to get the decal or whatever. So I said, you know what? I got one better. I got a good friend of mine that's an artist. So I call him up. We grew up together in Patterson. He came from Italy around the same time I did. And I said, you got to do me a favor. You got to paint the eagle for me on the hood. And
Did you really trust him to do that?
of course I did. He was a great artist at the time. We were both 17 years old or whatever. So
Just as a side note, you're not doing this with like oil paints, right? I'm
No,
assuming
no,
he has like
no.
specific.
Specific.
Okay.
He
And
has airbrushing and everything.
Is it like
and
a
then
tattoo?
lacquer.
Like
No.
they just do a basic, and then like
And
if
they
it's
just
not right, they can
but,
change it.
No, here. So
Oh,
he's
I would
he's
never,
he's.
I could
We
never.
take the
I'm having
hood off.
anxiety just
talking about it.
We lived in Patterson at the time. It's in the garage. He puts the hood out there and he starts drawing. I'm like, Federico, what are you doing?
Of course, his name is Federico.
I go, where's the picture? He goes, what picture? It's in my head. And I'm like, okay. Paints the eagle. He's got the flame shooting out. Wow. He does everything. I'm like, wow, this is
It
great.
came out good.
Unbelievable. He writes Firebird on the side, Playboy Bunny with the flapped ears on the side of the car, my name on the door. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Take this to a listing presentation.
So I said to wait. So I go to him when he's done with the paint with the hood, and I go, do me a favor, sign that hood. He goes, for what? He goes, get out. I said, sign that hood. One day you're gonna make it.
Oh my God, I have chills. I have chills.
And he
already.
goes, come on. I see. So he signs the hood. We put the hood back. The guy that painted my hood,
Yeah.
Federico Castelluccio,
No.
from Furio from The Sopranos. If I still had that car today,
I have
So what did
chills
you do
all
with
over my
it?
I
body.
kept the car for so many years. Then when I got out of the automotive
Oh, my God.
and I'm in sales, I get a company car. I keep the car in my driveway for several years because I didn't want to get rid of it. And I had another friend kept bugging me. His brother just got his license, wanted the car. Finally, I got rid of it. 2 weeks, sideswiped another car, totaled
But
it.
wait, why didn't you at least switch, like get another
I
hood?
tried to do
and
that.
Take the hood
That's
off,
what
at
I
least keep the
wanted to
hood
do.
with
Just
all
take the
the
hood and
artwork
kick
and
the
wanted
car
to-
out of the
I
into
wanted
the
to do that.
Palisades. Goodbye.
But yeah, I'll never forget that car. Never. I have
That's
a
a
picture
great
of it.
story.
Sold it.
Yeah, me too.
Disappointed in you.
I'm very disappointed. Imagine what that car would have been worth, just the car, and then the hood with his signature on it.
That's incredible.
Especially when he was on The Sopranos. But he's a well-known artist. He's really.
Is
he's
your love
great.
for Ferrari? Do you have a love for Ferrari? Is it just?
I have a love for Ferraris. I had a 68 Corvette convertible. I had a Porsche 928. I also have a Corvette C8 now, too. The 2020 C8.
Yeah, the
I
American
just
cars
love
don't do
it.
it for me.
The only reason I got that because of the mid-engine.
Okay.
And Corvette came out with the mid-engine just like the Ferrari mid-engine. And both colors are similar. I try to, match both cars.
Have you been to the Ferrari Museum?
No. I was in
You have
Italy.
to go.
My wife Anna kept bugging me to go that day, and I just didn't do
It's such an easy. I did it with a 9-month-old. It's such an easy museum,
Yeah,
and
we-
it's beautiful.
We were close. We were in Florence and Tuscany. It was a train ride, like
hours,
an hour
yeah.
and a half, 2 hour train ride. I should have did it, but
I'm surprised you didn't go.
yeah. Anna
All
kept
the
bugging me.
surprises
She
today.
wanted me
Good
to go.
idea.
She wanted me to go, and I didn't go.
I know.
I should have went.
Do you want to hear about my history of cars? I had a Honda Prelude. Then I had a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Then I had
That's still running.
a GMC Acadia, an Envoy, and now a Hyundai Palisade.
There you go.
My one of my best friends has a Hyundai Palisade. She
I
loves
love
it.
it. I love it.
Yeah.
We bought it out. We leased it, bought it out, but
Yeah, she can fit about 10, 15
Yeah,
people in
I
there.
love it.
She moved a couple people out of their houses with it.
Yeah.
With the furniture,
It's great.
with the garbage, and all
Right.
that.
We're up to buy. We have a baby that we weren't expecting having. So we have like adult car now. We're on like the search for an adult car that everyone, my dog, my baby, my nanny, everybody can fit in. And I looked
you
at
need
the
the captain's chairs.
No, because the captain's chairs don't fully go down. So I thought I wanted the captain's chairs. No, not in a lot of models. They go like this far.
Oh no, mine fall flat.
We've
My
lost the
captain's
producer. He's totally over this entire conversation.
He doesn't like. He likes the cars. Chris likes the cars.
No, but mine fall flat.
Really?
Yeah.
Everything I've looked at, they don't fall. So anyway, I look at the Defender. Have you seen this? From
Yes.
Land Rover. Sick. It is beautiful.
It's so
Closing the
nice.
door is like closing the door to like a 1920s bank vault. Like it's like amazing. The mom, baby, dog stuff. Like I need something. It sounds, again, I'm watching Nicole roll her eyes. I need something where I push a button and things happen, right? That car is so expensive, and you have to physically, manually pull the seats back and forth. I was like, this is a non-starter for. I can't. How am I going to do this?
You can push a button and it'll move up so people can get in the back.
Yes.
But it also, if you pull the lever, the back will fall flat. So then you have all of that storage.
By pushing a button, right?
Well, if you push the button, it'll automatically just move up so people can get in the third row. But if you want to lay it flat, you pull up the thing and
okay, so Defender, you're like straddling the seat and like pulling it forward like this. It's wild. I'm like, you have literally eliminated my entire
Nicole,
demographic.
what do you think? We should start talking about cars,
Yeah, sorry.
the car, and everything else. I'm just
No,
kidding.
but even like I remember when we were looking for cars before I got the Hyundai, we were looking at the Atlas, and I got in
that's a nice one
they're
too.
so nice. But then I got in the car, and my husband's like, she doesn't need all the bells and whistles, just like your basic model. So I was like, how do I move the seat? Like,
And you're like my hero.
He's like, yeah, thank you. He's like, just there's a wheel, you turn it. I'm like, with my hand?
That's
to
what I mean.
turn the wheel. I said, I'm going to have one ripped arm, all jacked, because I have to, like, pump the seat. You have to pump it up.
That's what I mean.
And
Like,
turn the wheel.
You can't do this for like
this arm's
a
gonna
modern
be all flabby,
family.
and this
Yeah,
arm's
that
going to
one.
be all jacked up because I have to, like, every day. He's like, all right. You're the only one driving, and you have to move the seat all the time. But still.
Oh, my God. But, yeah, no, cars are great. I was always a big car guy.
We're taking this conversation off.
No.
Offline.
So, but now that we talked about all these cars, what is the name of your app?
It's called Restaged. So reuse, recycle, restaged. And it's Restaged Official is our Instagram account. And restaged.com is our website. And if you just look up Restaged mobile sharing app or anything like that on the App Store, you can find it right away.
I'm going to send it to the group chat.
That's it. We got to let all our office know. And
Please.
all you realtors out there, it's going to get a lot harder. You're going to need to stage these houses. And, you're going to need to actually work for a living
And spend
again.
the $200 and get the pictures, please.
And
Oh my
please
God.
get professional pictures and use the Restage app.
Yeah.
But I like
It's
that
amazing.
idea because,
I love
again,
it.
you need a bar stool or you need something instead of going to buy it. Hey, for a couple bucks, let me go pick it up. I'll put it here, how many ever days I need it for, and that's it.
And we built it so you can use it anywhere. So if any of your listeners are like in Utah, you can use it in Utah. So it's
Wow,
basically
so
set
you're
up
all
for anyone.
over-
Yeah, we
Wow,
built it on a
that's great.
national level. That's why it took so long. So we were able to do it. Anybody could basically start it up anywhere.
Wow. I
Yeah.
got to start thinking of an app and come in and see you, and you let me know which way to go.
Yeah, I mean, times are tough. Start making money on your furniture,
That's
Right.
it. No.
I have
yeah.
so much in my attic. So much.
Yeah,
You
there's
can-
so much you can do.
You can rent out that chandelier.
I know. The chandelier. I have so many throw pillows, and I don't even know if I have stools. I have so many things in that attic.
Yeah.
Or
I buy them. I can't return them because it's 30 days or whatever it is, and then it gets put in a box and
Yeah.
walked up to
Or when you have that big party again in your kitchen that's the size of Cleveland, you're going to need more chairs and stuff. You go on Restage app.
Hopefully they'll sell those
Those
little stoppers that
stoppers.
goes under the stool so nobody falls off of anything.
So,
Not that it means, but-
so Lisa, what
Yeah.
what do you think of this little podcast
I
here
love
that
it.
we did?
I love it. I've been asked to be on a lot of these things. I got to tell you, this is the most fun I've ever had. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, a lot of fun. Thank you. I appreciate it. And the wine was excellent.
Here.
Wine was good, right?
Yeah,
Oh.
excellent.
Good
Really
wine.
opened up. I think
Yeah.
that's what wine people say.
But we tried.
It's really drinking well.
We try to do
Maybe we'll do our next
Nicole, you're
podcast
driving
at a
home.
winery. Right?
in a winery. That's right. The next podcast.
Don't
would
tease
be
a
in
girl.
winery.
I'll be there.
But the problem with that, it would be not one bottle. You'd have quite
What's
a
the
few
problem?
bottles.
I know. You said there was a problem. The only problem is the noise, the background.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Chris, what do you think? We can't do it in a winery. Look,
He's like,
right
"Oh, I
away.
like this.
Yeah,
We'll
I like
figure it
that idea. We'll figure it out.
We can rent a bus. Me and my friends used to run like a big giant party bus and go to the winery. We'll do that.
Oh, okay.
That would be fun.
Wow. From cars to wines, but at least
Yeah.
we got
To
an
party
app out.
buses.
Yeah.
Party
We
buses.
we did some
But
work.
we did some work. We got an app out of it.
Yeah.
Restage app,
Thank
which hopefully everybody out there, please start looking at it, start using it, and we got to get back and work hard and become actual realtors again and earn our money like
Thank God.
years ago. Thank God.
Right.
We're going to see a lot of people
Get out.
getting out of the business because they don't know what it's like, when you have to negotiate a deal.
Yeah.
When somebody's asking 600 and you go in at 5 and a quarter or 550, you know what? I'm Italian. They're asking 600. I don't want to give 650. I want to give 550, right?
Yeah.
But that's where it's going to end up going back to again.
But that was
so.
fun. Like that,
Yeah.
I felt like I was actually using
I
my brain.
enjoyed it, right? Right, where you actually sat down with a seller, as a listing agent or as a buyer's agent. You went and presented the offer to the seller with the other agent.
Yeah.
Not like we
I
did
wasn't
today.
an agent back then, but
Right.
I did purchase a house then, and
That's how it was
was.
done.
Yeah.
But
you went
that-
in below.
Yep.
You negotiated. You kept going back and forth until you met in the middle somewhere.
Yep.
And that was
That's
it.
it. But
Yeah.
that's how
And you weren't. There weren't 5 other people, 10, 20 other people submitting offers. Maybe one.
Yeah.
if
usually
you're
there was
lucky,
nobody.
right?
Yeah.
Usually there were no offers. You
And
had
that's
to
why you could-
negotiate.
Yeah.
you know?
Yep.
But those were the good old days, and I think we're gonna eventually get back to that. So,
Yeah. I mean, what are you seeing now? I mean, how long have you been in the business?
over 30.
So
Uh,
do you, I feel like the question I get asked constantly, and I know how I answer it, but I'm interested to get your take is a crash imminent?
I don't see a crash, but what I do see is you're probably going to get more houses coming on the market. Hopefully, these rates will start coming down.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't come down, you're going to start seeing the prices coming down
Mm-hmm.
because people are starting out there now saying, "Hey, it's you can't afford it."
Yeah.
You think about it: 8% interest rate versus a 3% interest rate, where you couldn't buy a $500,000 house at a 3%. How are you going to buy a $500,000 at 8%?
Right.
You're going to buy a 300 at 8%, which there are no $300,000 houses. So
Right.
what's going to happen? The prices might eventually come down if these interest rates don't come down.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I had a guy in our open house who worked for Citibank, and he said it's going to go to 9 by the end of the year, and we could reach 10 by the spring.
Yeah. Like I said, I was telling Nina, I bought at 11 and a quarter.
Yeah.
But again, the houses were under 200,000
Right.
back then.
That's the part to me that feels like there's a tension and a breaking point at somewhere.
Right.
It's just like I had a guy put in an offer in Montclair, 150K over asking. He lost because somebody went 400K over asking. I'm like, you have to die in that house. You're never going to be able to
Yeah,
sell
you're
that
never
house
gonna see
again.
it.
Like,
That's
Yeah.
why when people say, "Where should I be? What do you think?" Look, I can tell you what the house is probably going to go for, but
Yeah.
you don't. Someone might just come in
Yeah.
with an absolutely insane offer and just blow everybody out of the water. You just don't know.
Yeah.
In cash, I mean, if they come in higher and with cash, forget it.
Forget
well,
it,
they were
you're
also,
done.
aside from like the New York migration into here, obviously in all of New Jersey, but then you have the great wealth transfer that's happening. You have all of these empty nesters that are gifting their kids money to save on taxes, and that's happening at like an alarming rate. So you have very and they're being like, oh, make me something above the garage, and here's $2 million.
Yeah.
So how are you? There's a normal buyer is having a really hard time competing with that. These people are
It's
doing all
hard.
cash offers. I have loan offers
Especially
being
if
like,
you
where
don't
are you?
have-
I'm like, I have all cash offers. It's wild to me. Like, how
Yeah,
did I?
yeah.
What am I doing wrong?
And
That's what we always say. What do they do for a living?
Yeah.
All these
Drugs,
people do for a
selling
living.
organs.
Right.
What's happening?
But and it's all cash. It's $1 million, $1.5 million, whatever. We
But you
we
feel
had
bad for those first-time buyers that maybe only have 15% down or 10% down,
Yeah.
and like people are they're putting 30, 35, 40% down. They're waiving things.
Yep. Yeah,
It's hard. It gets very discouraging.
it does.
But
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who knows?
you look at somebody's offer. Hey, it's $1.5 million. It's all cash. Oh, can I see proof of funds here? Sure, it's $10 million. What?
Yeah.
But
You know,
sometimes
but-
people don't understand. If they put an offer in and it's more money, and they're putting less of a down payment on, and the seller will take the more down payment and take less money.
Yeah.
And the other person's like, but I don't understand. They're getting the same amount at the end. They're still getting the same amount or more money at the end.
Right.
What does it matter? But I'm like, it does. It matters. They just feel more secure with
Yeah.
more
And they
of a
should.
down payment.
Yeah.
Right now, they should. I'm
Yeah.
taking the more down payment
Yeah.
all
Oh
day
yeah,
long.
more down payment
All day
or
long.
cash or whatever.
Waving
but
this, waving that. You are the winner.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah.
You won.
You won.
But again, some sellers out there are still taking, terms versus down payment and everything else. So,
Yeah.
It's all relevant. Eventually, like I said, we're gonna work harder and we're gonna keep going as realtors and stay in this business. I think the strong will survive, and the people that don't go to the office, don't go to the opens, don't go anywhere, you know what? You don't know where they're gonna end up being.
Yeah.
Probably getting another job.
I have a problem with my
No,
tires.
I'm not
I feel like
look-
you're like. I feel like this is very personal.
She's like, I feel attacked.
My tire pressure is low. I didn't want to go on 287. I live 3 minutes from here.
It wasn't against you, but my wine is done. And on that note, one day, and that day will come when you need to buy or sell a house. And when that day does come, you need to call Vito Cantuzzi, the godfather of Northern New Jersey real estate.
And if he doesn't answer his phone, you can call Nina D'Alessio. And you can call
Lisa Troyano Ascolese.